And so now I'm looking at it, I feel that I want to put some more drips at the bottom of this section of the hills. Some of this will be painted out. However, I just want to retain that dripped feeling for a part of the section of this painting. So I'm just putting plenty of water in the mix. And I'm going to funny how it always catches the same drips. They seem to run down the same channels. I just I'm going to give that, use the rest of that yellow just to bring it up into the mountains. I've also decided that I want the moon to be gold. So I'm going to do a gold disc moon up above, and so taking, just get my duster brush, or you can use a household decorator's brush, just to soften the yellow into as part of the, as a glaze over everything. And I shall give the moon a red background, because what happens is when you put gold leaf on top, I like, when I do gold leaf over a colour, I like to see the background colour coming through, so some of the gold will be rubbed off. So I'm just going to let that dry. Now I've turned the painting around, as you can see, so that I can get to the moon, literally, not literally, sorry, get to my moon, and I'm going to put down a red, cadmium red, as a background to the gold leaf, and let that dry before I apply the gold leaf. So put some cadmium red in my palette over here, and just give it a nice even coat of red. as I sit. This is what the ancient manuscript painters used to do as a background to gold leaf, because they knew that it looked beautiful when gold leaf was rubbed off and exposed the red underneath, the rich red, because it sets gold leaf off beautifully. And in time, gold leaf does often come off. But I always expedite that process by crumbling some away or pushing some away before it dry. Before I as a piece of ancient looking gold. Okay, so now I'm going to allow that to dry, this red moon, and you can always use a hairdryer to speed up the process of drying. And in fact, I use a hairdryer a lot, especially during the making of these videos, so that I don't lose too much momentum. Okay, so pop that in the water. It looks pretty awesome red actually, but you can leave yours red if you don't want a gold moon, by all means. It's quite an exciting abstract painting at the moment, or abstracted. So I shall go and dry the moon. And now with gold leaf, what you need to do is just obviously put the glue where you want the gold leaf to go, and nowhere else. So take a brush, clean brush, and you can dip it straight into the decoupage glue, or if you've already got gold leaf glue, that's so much the better, but this decoupage glue works perfectly well. Put it on evenly, and take your booklet of gold leaf or Dutch metal. This is Dutch metal, much cheaper than gold leaf, and just gently, this is the tricky part, it's so fine, float it on top. And I missed, but never mind, because look how beautifully it captures, the glue just captures the gold Dutch metal. Just gently press it down with your finger. I had hoped this would just catch onto the entire red, but no problem, because I'm going to take a corner it's caught it before I even had it there. And I like to keep all the bits so that I can do that again. use the fragments. And just let that dry. And once it's dry, or you could gently prise off the bits at the edge. I'm being a bit brazen here by pulling it away before it's properly dry. If it's a bit ragged, no worries, because you can paint around again. I'm going to stop playing with it now so that I can let it dry properly. I'm just going to let that dry and think about the next step. And now I'm going to give this section a glaze of red, which may change, and a very thin, well, not very thin, but a fairly thin glaze, so that we can still see the drips beneath. So this section is a sort of abstraction. I like to paint in sections. I like to see the sort of abstracted sections of paintings, sort of almost a flat look. I also like the way that these drips look like tendrils or roots. And I got my household painter's brush, and I'm just spreading it out. Let's see what happens if I push that up. I'll take my dusting brush. And taking the red up into the mountain or hill. Yeah, I like that. Almost looks like a jellyfish at the moment. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to echo the hill shape in this bottom section here, and it's going to be an abstracted pattern section. First of all, I'm just going to lay down the colour in white because it's a base, well actually that's pink, but because it's mixed with, and I want it to be a form of land where this section can be perceived as a kind of, perhaps a river, or perhaps something that we don't know what it is, an indeterminate piece of land or water. And I'm just going to fill this in with white, because seeing white, it isn't going to stay white, but the colours are purer when you lay a background of white. If it weren't for the white, then the colours would be muddy. So it has to be kind of like a blank canvas again, almost. And I'm going to choose a colour once it is white and once it has dried. And this is the piece of land upon which a tree will be growing and a goddess will be standing. Or actually she will be probably standing in front of it, but this will be her piece of land as well. Oops, I almost dipped my brush in my tea, which is something that happens often. Almost happens. So just filling that in. I'm going to dry it with a hairdryer to expedite the process and see which colour I want this piece to be. And I've decided to give it a basis of red and see where it wants to go from there, because I'm going to use this panel, this red bottom panel, as a place where I'm going to put a lot of pattern. And the golden moon hasn't quite dried yet, so I haven't finished with that. It looks a bit ragged at the moment, so it won't stay like that. So a nice flat red. I'm going to choose a lovely stencil from which to create an area of pattern. I've got quite a few stencils to choose from. Just let that dry.